Hi, welcome to the Magic Action Planner. I created this simple to use planner to help you practice getting clear on your creative desires and taking consistent, inspired action to move forward with them day after day and week after week rather than once in a blue moon. So in this short video, I'm going to walk you through the simple to use Magic Action Planner pages and how truly in just minutes a day, you can begin to strengthen your habits that will help you move past procrastination, perfectionism, overwhelm, inner critic voices, and other blocks. So you're going to start by using the Magic Action Master Plan. You probably want to do this on a Sunday or a Monday to set yourself up for the week, and it's only going to take about 5 minutes to do this. You will start by setting a timer for 60 seconds, and in that 60 seconds I want you to write down all the creative ideas and thoughts that are whirling around in your brain currently, and just get them all down on paper. The ones that come out in the first 60 seconds are the ones that are probably most important to you and the ones that are nearest and dearest to your heart and on your mind right now. So after you do that, number 2 is to do an intuitive quick pick. So that's just to check in, read over your list of ideas that you wrote down and pick one. Pick the one that jumps off the page at you, that energizes you, that makes you think, oh, I can't wait to get started with that, or that feels like that's the one that really needs to get done before I do anything else. However it happens to call to you, but you'll know it's the one. And I want to tell you that when I'm asking you to choose one idea to work with this week, it is not because I want you to say goodbye to all of the rest of them forever. It's just that we're going to practice taking the steps necessary to show up for this idea this week, and you're going to grow your ability to do that and strengthen your habits. So it's basically just practicing you to help make decisions, commit to them, accomplish them, and then experience that wonderful creativity completion energy. So the third part is to take that action or that creative endeavor or idea, project, passion, or pursuit that you chose in number 2. And then in number 3, you're going to come up with all the delightfully doable small steps that you can, that you will need to, want to, get to take to make that happen. So when I say delightfully doable, I mean very small. I'm talking laughably doable. So for example, if you want to get back to playing the guitar and you haven't played guitar in very long, you might say, I want to play guitar 2 or 3 times in the coming week for 5 minutes. And your brain might tell you that's not enough to really get back into the guitar. You need to be practicing 30 minutes every single day. But then when you do end up practicing, 20 minutes 2 times in the week, and that's really great because it's more than you've been playing at all, your brain will want to tell you that you failed because you didn't do 30 minutes every day. So we really want to pick some delightfully doable, super small steps. Another way that we can tend to not go small enough with the small steps is, I have people often that come to me and they're wanting to build a creative business or they're wanting to expand on their creative business. So they might think at first that one of their steps is, I need to make a website. Well, making a website, if you've ever tried or worked with anybody to help you do it, you'll know is more than one step, but our brain wants to tell us it's one step. It's actually dozens and dozens of steps. So just even being aware of that, so you can look at those longer, bigger ended steps and know that they're actually really dozens and dozens of steps. You will really set yourself up for success if you start narrowing that down even. So those small steps might be researching website platforms, talking to somebody who might be able to help you, those kind of steps. And even taking those steps to Kaizenize it further at 10 minutes a piece or 15 minutes a time. Your brain will thank you. Your brain will be like, okay, this I can do. I can spend 10 minutes researching platforms. Building a whole website freaks me out. So once you have that done, you're going to use on a daily basis or as many times a week as you want to the Magic Action Plan for the day. You have a place for the date up at the top, and the first thing you'll do is choose one of your delightfully doable small steps that you made in your master plan, and then ask yourself why. Why do I want to take this step? How will this help me move forward with my creative dream? And once you know, we'll stick with the making a website analogy. So why do I want to spend 10 minutes researching website platforms today? because it's going to put me that much closer to actually having my website. And when I have my website up, I'll have a place to send more people to buy my jewelry or sign up for my tutoring or buy my coaching or buy my art or whatever it is, a service or product that you're selling online. And so number 3 is to give yourself permission. If you've ever worked with me before, you know that I think this is extremely important. It might seem like a step that some people would skip over, but until we've really had awareness of what we want to do and know why we want to do it and then give ourselves permission to do it, it is highly unlikely that we will not do it. So I hereby give myself permission to spend 10 minutes this week, twice, 2 or 3 times researching website platforms because I want to get my website up and running so I can start selling some jewelry. So then I always apply the 3, what I call my magic action questions to the step that you chose. So the first one is, how can I make this easier or more doable? Sometimes it's simply by setting the timer for a short amount of time so you know that it's not an open-ended thing and you have to spend a large amount of time doing it. Sometimes it's, for example, if my step was to organize my big project was to organize my creative room, and my smaller step was to organize my shelves, then an even micro step, how I could make it even easier, would to be just choose one and focus on that at first. How do I make this more fun or enjoyable is the second question. So if I was doing an organizing project in my creative room, I might listen to a podcast or listen to music, or I might ask somebody to help me. I might even open a window or light a candle depending on the season. And then how can I make this more meaningful or add meaning to it? So, in the example of like playing guitar, that might be, it's just meaningful for me that I need that creative self-care and I want to play the guitar for the pure joy of it. And I deserve to have pure joy in my life and pure creative joy. That's meaningful on its own, but then also I'm being a good role model. There's meaning in it because I'm being a role model for my daughter to show her that it's important to give yourself time for creative endeavors and the joy and satisfaction that brings, and for the people that I coach and that I work for. So the 3 questions: how can I make this easier or more doable? How can I make this more fun or enjoyable? And how can I make this more meaningful or add meaning to my step? And then the last one is another step that I think people overlook a lot, and that is to celebrate. And so once you do take your small step for the day, to just write here, yay, you did it, or a smiley face or whatever it is, because so often we want to do something, we do it, and then we barely even notice that we did it before we're looking for the next thing that we're supposed to do. We don't take time to celebrate it. We basically maybe scratch it off our list, and then we're on to the next thing. I really want us to start training our brains to take in what we've done and enjoy the satisfaction of what we've accomplished right now. Because if we can start to enjoy and have satisfaction in smaller steps, it's going to be much easier for us to do it as we move along. And I never want to be in a position, and I always want to have my clients celebrating along the way, so we don't slip into that mindset of, I'll be happy when. I'll celebrate when my book is finished. I'll celebrate when my whole entire creative room is clean. No, we're going to be celebrating along the way. And that makes your brain want to show up for your daily or your several times a week small steps that you've chosen. So by using these magic action planners, literally just a few minutes a day, you're really taking your brain through that whole complete process of download, decide, do, where you get to consciously take all the things whirling around in your mind, narrow them down, choose one, make a choice, practice sticking to that choice for the coming week, and then finding that satisfaction and taking the consistent action towards them. Now, then you just repeat, right? Like you might want to use this planner page more than once in a day. You might use it for more than one step, but you're really practicing the rinse and repeat of download, decide, do. Download, decide, do. And even if you only take one small step a day, you're staying in touch with your creativity. And that feels good. And it's much easier to build on. So over time, you may be using this same formula. You may not even need to write it down anymore because it's becoming more of a habit to you. And this is created to help you strengthen one creative habit. So I've simplified this to make it even easier, I hope to use. And more directly to the point. It's my 2.0 of a brand new offering, so I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that it helps you to show up for your creative endeavors in a new way every week, and I would love to hear back from you. I'd love to hear what worked, what could have been better, and if you get stuck with any part of it, DM me or send me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so enjoy creating some magic action this week. Thanks.